Hello everyone and welcome back to Let's Play Europa Universalis IV with me, Alfapiomega, Meiou and Taxes, Historical Immersion and Bohemia. So I'm starting this episode with the event Court Painter Available. Lately we have been looking for painters or artists to try to adequately capture the glory of our king. As it happens, a painter offered his service to us just this morning. So we can hire him, and for 84.73 gold we get 5 prestige points and a 40% chance of 50 stability points. Or we can decline his service and we will lose 5 prestige. Now our king is honest, but that's about as much as we can tell about him, and his queen is industrious. I'm not entirely sure what to go with here. However, judging by her diplomatic skills, she is probably gonna try to tell him to hire him. We have a total population of almost 4 million and 52 stability points right now, with a -1 stability, so extra 50 stability points would go a long way. So let's hire him, and yes, it worked! Awesome. That's probably the first time I've seen it work. So stability increased by 1. We are now at 0. Our prestige increased a bit too. That's good. And we are very close to getting new technologies, block books and pike squares. You know what block books mean. Block books mean that we're going with the aristocratic ideas. Hopefully not forever. But I'm not really worried because diplomatic technology is the least useless for us right now. I know it increases colonial and trade range, it gives global settler increase, and rarely a trade efficiency bonus. But other than that, we are perfectly fine. I don't know, naval maintenance doesn't really encourage me, and it gives extra diplomatic possibilities, that's true, but hey. We're also very close to being able to fabricate a claim on a middle mark, so I'm hoping that it's gonna work. We have a long way to go still, at least, how much does it increase? 1.14, so almost a year. So let's hope that's gonna work. And also, many of you usually ask me about the institution spread. So this is the spread of Renaissance. We have it in Praha and in Časovsko. And many other provinces like Plzeňsko, Chebsko are very close. The current cost is 361 gold. So I'm saving money for that, honestly, while drilling our troops, because we really need to get our army professionalism above 20. But yeah, not much else is really happening here. We are just, waiting for the institution to spread so that we can embrace it and reduce this awful penalty. So yeah. With the rest of the world, I think that England was at war with Scotland. They're still at war with Scotland. Oh, at war with France, Armagnac, and Scotland. Okay. So who is France at war with? Britain, England, Connacht and Minster. Poor Britain is gonna disappear. That's sad. Sweden, Norway, no change. In the east, we can see a bit more territory again. We can now see the land of Karachev and the Great Perm. Not much else. Muscovy doesn't seem to be expanding into the Blue Horde, or I can't tell. Maybe they gotten this from them? I'm not entirely sure, can't remember. Ottomans won their war against Trebizond, so they got some provinces from them. Wait, did they? Well, they definitely got some from Jandars, I'm not sure. And there's a war going on. Oh wait, no, that's just the rebels. Oh no, there is a war going on. They're attacking the knights. Okay, so bye-bye Rhodos, it was nice seeing you. And Mentees is aligned with Karaman. Okay, so they're going pretty well. I mentioned that before, that the Ottomans have really good centralization, and they've been very lucky with their sultans, so they're doing pretty well. Manurasi, no overseas exploration for us yet. And many of our diplomats have nothing to do. So Wish me luck so that I can lay the claim to Mittelmark. Wish me luck. So, we can now take block books and pike squares. Let's go. Block books. Despite the spread of movable type, there was still a larger market for wood-carved block books. This was because block books could contain illustrations similar to earlier hand-copied manuscripts. It not only meant they could be works of art in their own right, it also encouraged their dissemination among the majority of the population who were illiterate. So we can get another group of ideas and we can build extensive irrigation canals. And pike squares. Pike squares. Pike squares were a reaction against cavalry charges, allowing infantry to protect themselves against them. The long pikes allowed 3 or more ranks of men to attack an enemy horseman before he reached their lines. Faced with a wall of spears, only a foolhardy horseman would willingly charge into their ranks. Landmark increased by 0.1, combat woof increased by 2, infantry shock increased by 0.25, and artillery shock increased by 0.04. Now, I have built another cannon because, we can, so we will. And we can now take the group idea and we're going to take the aristocratic ideas. As I mentioned, this makes sense, quite a lot of sense, even more than eminence or influence ideas. So let's take the aristocratic ideas and we're going to go with the first one called easy claims. Borders are usually tortuous and poorly defined. Our nobles commonly marry across the border. We can leverage these claims as an excuse to enlarge our realm. So cost to fabricate a claim is lowered by 15%. The next one will give us diplomatic relations +2, and that is something that we really need. That is something that we really, really, really need. So I can demand from Milan their territory, but I'm not at this point. I'm also going to claim Lebus and Haviland before we go into a war against Verula. Or in case we are found, we will go into war earlier and just take Middlemark if need comes to be. But I would like to take all 3 of them. Regarding the rest of the world, things are kind of good, but I'm interested in seeing how this is going to go, because Aragon owns territories in the north, and I don't believe that Aragon is allied with France. No, they are, okay. So Aragon is... Well, Castile isn't, but Castile is a permanent junior partner of Aragon, and they have a junior partner of Portugal. Holy hell, that's weird. And we get a revolt in Jeshen. Okay guys, let's go. We have a job to do. Let's temporarily increase your funding and go. Okay, you can't at this point, but you will very soon. Come on. Come on, don't make me beg. Come on. Okay, I don't think they'll have a chance even against so demoralized army. What is Austria doing? 20,000. Are they in another war? No, they have a piece of... Okay, so they're not in another war. Well, we could call them, and we will, in a war against Brandenburg. I want to save the favors that I have from Poland, where I have 47, and from Meissen, where I have only 24. So instead we're gonna just call Austria, and it's gonna be enough. They got 20,000 troops. Actually, these troops are hired by Venice. That's interesting. Okay. Norway wishes to hire condottieri. Could we offer them you? Oh wow, they would take it. Who are they at war with? Who are they at war with? Oh, they're defending against Poland. That could be fun. Just go sack Poland. I think that could be fun, but we don't have enough manpower, honestly. So we're not gonna rent the troops. The only army that we have is an emperor. That's nonsensical. As far as voting goes, people are all voting for us. I don't know why it switched to me to Milan. That's ridiculous. So we're gonna vote for ourselves. So everything is secure. European wishes to enter. And Legnica has may your sky be filled with comments. Why the hell are they sending me insult? They're loyal. They have a... No, nobody has any liberty desire. That's so weird. Okay, Milan, time for you to release that unlawful territory. And you will accept because you know what happened last time. First, really good cultural event. Vogtland shifts to Bohemian. So Vogtland is no longer, I think that was the same culture, either Thuringian, probably Thuringian, and it now assimilated into the Bohemian culture. So that is awesome. Can we build the fort here? It could. It would cost 10,000 manpower and about 60 gold. I think that might be a good thing to do now. We are starting to get a decent enough manpower, so let's contribute that and pay it. I also purchased the Swedish copper, so our splendor is increasing, and maybe we're gonna be able to get the justified wars. Maybe. Maybe not. There's not much else that I would like to. Maybe the cavalry armies, they're not bad. The rest doesn't really... Or the adaptive combat in grassy hills. That could be decent. Combat bonus in terrain of capital. Not entirely sure. The autonomy is looking pretty good. Preshporok and Novohrad are looking great. We have a decent enough autonomy even in the north. Oh, and you got an event here. And central area is universally recognizing our control. So what is this event? Charles VIII takes power. Charles VIII, called the Affable, was monarch of the House of Valois, who ruled as King of France from 1483 to his death in 1498. Okay, so that's the scripted event. In a remarkable stroke of audacity, Charles married Anne of Brittany in 1491. Oh, so that's the event that makes Brittany a junior partner? No. Let's get the Affable. Discipline, diplomatic relations lower, but monetary autonomy change. And artillery bonus versus forts +3. Jesus Christ. He married Anne of Brittany in 1491 after she had already been married by a proxy to the Habsburg Holy Roman Emperor Maximilian I in a ceremony of questionable validity. Upon his marriage, Charles became administrator of Brittany and established a personal union that enabled France to avoid total encirclement by Habsburg territory. To secure his rights to the Neapolitan throne that René of Anjou had left to his father, Charles made a series of concessions to neighboring monarchs and conquered the Italian peninsula without much opposition. The coalition formed against the French invasion of 1494-98 finally drove out Charles' army, but the Italian wars would dominate Western European politics for over 50 years. Interesting. Interesting. So, we're upgrading a fort here. We're almost ready to lay another claim, probably to Lebus. Or maybe to Haviland. Haviland is a bit more valuable. How much do we need? We probably need a bit more, won't we? Yeah, 62 to Haveland. So I'll probably lay a claim to these two valuable provinces, and we'll leave rebels for another time. I'm thinking that later on we might support their independence, which could force Verla to release them, and we could somehow get them into our sphere of influence. Also, I'm considering getting Bayern München to vassalize, because they own two very valuable provinces. Well, actually, one valuable, one very close to Regensburg. And it would give us a bit more of a control in the southern territories. Now, I know that we have way too many diplomatic relations. Way too many. But we're gonna get a bonus here of +2. So that would lower it to 2 extra. And I could negate that by leveraging foreign noble ties to 0. Oh no, actually to 1. But we would need to suck heavily to greater nobles. I don't know how much money they would need every few years, but they would go insane. It's a bit iffy if you ask me. Cessation of church functions. We've already had this event before. Noble families were often granted control over church lands, and appointments were made in many states in exchange for cash contributions to the crown's efforts. The crown, of course, lost control over some revenues this way in exchange for a short-term boost in revenue. So we're going to accept this, which is going to lower our national tax modifier by 15%, but it gives us extra yearly papal influence, and the greater nobles become more loyal, and we get 177 gold. Now we could get a bit more stability and piss off the nobles, which I don't think is a good idea. But otherwise, this has been beneficial to us. We're going to use this money to fund our attack on Brandenburg. Oh my god. We're going to ignore the rebels in Cottbus. Yeah, it's not that big of a deal. So where else do I need to upgrade the fort? I got it here, here. Okay, we need to upgrade it in Svidnica and Budějovice. And then, of course, Novohrad-Hont. How's the situation here? Are the Ottomans fighting anyone? Oh, they are. Still the Knights, Cyprus, Venice, and Naxos. Oh. Oh, they already stole this. Do they have... No. I was wondering if they had the ticking war score that could just yield them the provinces, and I think they do. Yeah, they have a permanent claim on that province, so that's gonna go to them very soon. They don't even need to finish this war. They're just getting territory as they go. Damn. I found a thing that's actually pretty interesting. We are asked by Venice to offer them condottieri, and they would accept, even if they pay us pretty much double the maintenance. This is actually a really good deal for us, and I think that we would accept it because it's against the Ottomans. They're at war against the Ottomans, so... oh, they cannot afford to pay that. Okay, so they would accept it like this. So let's do that. That means that our troops will be hired by Venice, and we can actually go and fight. So let's do that. I'm gonna show that to you in the next episode. We've gained some money, and we are going to use that money to fund some projects. Namely, we could embrace Renaissance, but I think we're gonna wait a bit for some of the other places to finish, because look at that. We're still very far from being able to get any technology, and we should get that sooner, right? Yeah. Okay, so in the next episode, our units hired by the Venetians will go and fight Ottomans. So see you in the next episode.